Sexless marriage versus emotional disconnection, which is more damaging? Your partner's trauma is a gift. The hokey pokey is messing you up. She saw her touch my penis. My narcissistic behaviors, my managing severe narcissism. Why are you afraid of rejection? Sexless marriage versus emotional disconnection, which is more damaging? Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And I love this topic. Guys, by the way, you guys are doing a lot better on the weekends. I noticed that you're listening a lot more. It's still not half of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis during the week, but I'm impressed, guys. I noticed that you guys are listening more. We're doing 30,000 or 35,000 downloads a week now. You guys are really loving it. If you do like the podcast, please share every episode you love. Invite people to it, guys. We can't do it without you. Now, sexless marriage versus emotional disconnection. Guys, why do we have to keep talking about this?
I feel like it's a trick question. Which one is worse?
Yeah, because it's now, if you don't know, guys, I like to find things that you guys specifically ask for, okay? And I don't know why this topic is still coming up. Like, if you have an emotional disconnection, you're going into a sexless marriage, okay? If you already are sexless, you're very disconnected, probably a lot deeper than emotional. Now it's gone even further. You know what I'm saying?
Are we going to ignore that our background just totally changed?
I thought it did too.
It was black with white writing, and now it's
just
white
turned off. Well, you guys, if anyone knows how to work a freaking smartboard, man, because I am struggling. All right.
Anyway, it's like the chicken or the egg. Is kind of what you're describing.
Yeah.
If you have a sexless marriage, it's going to be disconnected. If you have a disconnected marriage, odds of it leading to being sexless is the odds are pretty high. So what's worse? Is that what the question is? What's worse?
Which is more damaging?
Damaging. I also think it depends on the person. So I bet you, whoever asked this question, you want to justify why. If you're a man, you want to justify why sexlessness, is that right? Is worse than emotional disconnection. If you're a woman and you asked, you want to have yourself validated and justify why your pain, your emotional disconnection is worse. And you're both you're fighting against each other. So that's my thought. I think somebody wants to be validated for what their pain is worse. For me, emotional disconnection would be much worse. I don't want to have a sexless marriage, but I would much rather be emotionally connected to my husband. If I was emotionally connected, I could handle not having sex, sort of, right? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so for him, though, men and women are very different. Sex in a man's eyes is different than it is in a woman's eyes. A lot of women, while you're in crisis and trauma, you probably, I used to say I could not have sex ever again. I didn't care. But the emotional disconnection was I was so damaged.
So strong of emotional disconnection.
Yes. So that to me what was killing our relationship, our emotional intimacy, our physical intimacy. And so the root of my problem was the lack of emotional intimacy and emotional connection. And so for me, that's worse because without that, I can't give my husband what he needs, which is sexual connection. Well, and then it's the opposite for a man.
But yes and no.
So they're both damaging you guys.
See, forget man and woman for a second, because I believe when you are connected, no matter what, the sex will be there, right? If you might have to figure out a few things, hormones, whatever, okay? But it's the byproduct, like Kathryn would say, okay? Now, if you think about job sex, or checking off the to-do list, that's what we also define as sexless marriage, okay? That is creating more of a disconnect. And you always, honey baby, you say like men can feel it. We can tell if
it bleeds out.
It bleeds out.
If you're shopping for groceries in your mind while you're having sex with your husband can almost hear the thoughts that you're having.
Yes, but this is gonna go like so much deeper, because then you have to realize that you also want the emotional connection. If it bothers you that your partner's not really engaged, maybe just doing it, get over with, whatever, okay? Running through the grocery list. You also need the emotional connection, okay? Meaning, otherwise you just do your thing. You just have the orgasm and you'd be done, okay? So it's kind of like this. Which is more damaging? The fucking emotional connection. That's why you're so confused in sexless marriages, when you're like, but we're so great. When you get to one of the rungs in the ladder before you're an awesome superpower couple, is just like really great best friends again. You're really getting along, great, but you're friend zoned, okay? The problem there is that the byproduct should be there. Okay, so you should be having sex, and you don't understand because we're so connected. But then I'll challenge you, are you really though? Right? Go back a few episodes where we talked about that couple's date versus our date and what our sex was like and how they didn't have sex. Okay, so completely different. So which is more damaging? Well, I think they're both equally damaging. The emotional connection will set the foundation for everything. But sex it's easy. It's easy to say, not today. We don't have time. We're very intentional, and sometimes we even plan it, guys. I mean, you have this whole quiet time for the kids thing so that we can have more adventure time, right? Sometimes it's spontaneous. Sometimes one of us is just like, now. Like, that really only comes with your emotional connection. But at the same time, it's the part that's probably easiestly sacrificed, because when you feel that, especially as a man, I think, well, let's use men and women, because when women message about their husbands not wanting sex, watching porn, playing video games, whatever, you're just feeling more sad. Most men will feel more angry until they feel sad. Okay?
And then they feel angry again.
And then they feel angry again, right? Because, go back to what Kathryn said earlier in the episode, too many of you are justifying the thing that you don't want, right? Well, I would have sex if there was emotional connection. Well, I would be more emotionally connected if we were having sex
with me.
and if it was you're engaged, okay? The reality is, what are you doing? The amount of people that are in sexless marriage that are not initiating, even fun, flirting, afraid of rejection. The amount of people, I believe, is everybody that wants emotional connection. It's what I always tell everybody, right? Like, how many of you guys just this is on like a call where I'm meeting 50 people on the app. They're like, how many of you guys just want to fuck your wife? This isn't the place for you. Everybody here want to talk, laugh, dream, achieve, have your wife touch your face, say she's crazy to live without you. Yeah, cuddles, all this. That's all coming from an emotional connection, you guys. All of it, Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add?
No.
I'm going to say one more thing then. Which is more damaging? Likely both. You need both. And where
I knew it was a trick question.
Where it comes is chicken and egg. But at the end of the day, likely both. Because there's only one place you get to be so deeply fucking connected emotionally. That's your marriage. There's only one place you get to be so deeply connected physically. So you need to get to both of them. That's what I believe. That's it.
And you're right. 99.9% of the time.
Including this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.